this game is there right up there in terms of history. And the timing, again, Man United did the timing they always do against Chelsea. When Chelsea's game comes and something happens and we kind of, are not as confident as we usually are, and the same thing, Arsenal might face it. So I'll come to Gunnar Gumza. I have to give you this. I have to tell Arsenal are not used to it. Arsenal at 5th position are playing Manchester United at 8th position. How does that sound, Gumza?
It sounds like how it should be, if I'm honest. They had 2 years where we dropped off a bit and they managed to get in front of us. But since Fergie's left, they've only finished above us 3 times since in that 8-year period. So it's normality restored at the moment. We just got to keep going. A theatre of dreams like Old Trafford's a difficult place to go sometimes, but I'm quietly confident. I feel we can get something from it. The position we're in, I'll take a draw. If we get out there with 1 point, just because it stops them gaining ground on us. Do you know what I mean? It's that keeping. I think we got 6 or 7 points ahead at the moment. So if we can come out of there 6 points ahead of them,
that's
still
very
rare,
by the way, for anyone who's not watching it, like Arsenal being 6 or 7 points ahead of Man United, like I don't remember in recent seasons if it's really happened that much. But yeah. But strangely, again, Normandi, Gamza, correct me if I'm wrong, but Man United haven't won in the Premier League, I think, against Arsenal for almost 3 seasons now. If I'm not wrong, 3 years, for 5 matches, I think either been a draw or Arsenal have beaten Man United. And that was a strange thing in itself, because I think we all know under Ferguson what used to happen, right? As in Man United used to bulldoze Arsenal, especially through the latter years. But yeah, then that's something. And I think the strikers will be the key, like for me, if you ask me, right? As in Normandi, I know Ronaldo wasn't starting in the last game against Chelsea, but that was purely due to tactical reasons, right? Now he'll probably start against Arsenal and score because he loves playing against Arsenal. I think he scored about 6 times against Arsenal. But again, I don't think he's scored more than once at Old Trafford. That'll be interesting. So would you start Ronaldo? Just putting it out there.
It's what it is now. There's been a huge change recently, the last week, 9 days. Ralph's come in and people say, we've got to wait for work permit before he starts having any influence. Incorrect. He's had influence from day one, maybe weeks ago. They've obviously, what we hear in the press is totally different what goes on behind closed doors. So I believe the evidence being against Chelsea, evidence being against Villarreal, that it's Ralph who's employing the tactics onto Carrick via, look, we're communicating here, You know what I'm saying? So it's easily done. You can see it in a change of shape. You can see it in a change of mentality with the players, everything else. Maybe he's sent his script, his drills, what he wants done in training. It's got to be done. You can't just come in and just start it from scratch. They would have done some pre-work to say, this is what Ralph wants. I'm Carrick, but I'm just delivering it through Ralph, That's how it's going to be. So as regards to the tactical change that we had at the weekend, I assumed when I was going to the game and saw the team lineup, I assumed it was straight swap, Bruno for Ronaldo. Bruno would be a number 9 or false 9, as you call it. When we got to the game and watching the game, we realised it was probably Ralph's 4-2-2-2, and Bruno was in the 2 behind the 2 strikers, so-called strikers, pressers, which you might call forward pressing forwards, whatever, in Rashford and Sancho. So there's a lot to learn. We've been, like, Gums are here, Arsenal fan. I would advise everyone to check him out because tactically he's a genius. I have to give him ultimate respect, and we love talking football. Yeah, it's true. And
sorry to cut you there, but definitely viewers out there, definitely do check out the Army TV and Gamza. In terms of tactical ability, like he's right up there. Like, I actually switch on to his channel and actually view his tactical analysis just to kind of learn. And trust me, I've seen football for 20 years and I learned from Gamza. But yeah, please carry on about it.
Appreciate it.
Totally agree. I just endorse exactly what you said there, man. Gums has got it going on when it comes to tactics. And it's like when you're talking tactics, some people don't know. Sometimes the way Gums explains, you visualize it. You can see it happening, just verbally as well. What you need to do is give this man a board, some graphics, and all that kind of thing, just to enhance it even more. But he's great at that. So, like I say, I think with Manchester United, all the fans now, we're having to adapt and learn and do our research now and find out exactly what Ralph's about. And I think coming up against Arsenal, we're going to see a further development of Ralph's tactics. I'm sure he's behind it. We realise Arsenal, being an expansive team, score a lot of goals in open play. They're good on the eye, playing really good football, kind of like maybe sort of mini Pep style, and it's lovely. It's a lovely game. And I could tell you're a fan as well, Ankit, the way you talking about them as well. So we have to sort of cut them out. I think the danger is Do we press them because they like to play the ball out from the defence? Do we take that chance and press them like that, and then maybe get caught in, as they do with that 15 pass move they had with Saka's goal the other day? They've got it all, so it's going to be interesting. I can't predict anymore because I haven't got the experience to see what Ralph is doing to our club. I'm just interested. This is what makes it an even greater game. I'm just interested to see what the developments are, and I'll be sitting there watching it and then make my observation and then be able to sort of go on from there before I'm discussing any sort of tactical things, because I wouldn't have been able to predict the starting lineup the other day or the setup. It's all new to us as Man United fans, but it's going to be a great game, just as Chelsea Watford is. Just remember, guys, the Premiership is great at the moment. There's so many good teams, so many good players, so many good mastermind tacticians. Just enjoy it, guys. No matter who you support, enjoy every game because it's beautiful out there.
Absolutely, well said there. But Taron, let me get a neutral perspective here. I have to kind of disagree. I'm not yet a fan. Come on, anything close to Arsenal, I cannot be a fan. But I get what you're saying. Exactly. The tactics is something that Arteta, I think initially I kind of questioned him, but I think he is getting it. But Taron, I'll ask you, do you think it's kind of a one-off, just a purple patch that Arsenal are, I think 5 wins out of 6? I know that big loss against Liverpool was the blip, but apart from that, there is just some kind of a run, just a momentum that they've got because of the positivity, the youngster that they have. Ramsdale not really doing what he really is capable of, but doing what he's not capable of. I think, do you really see this continuing, or is it something that we need to be wary of?
I mean, yeah, I'll get to that in a second, but I want to give huge credit to Arsenal because they proved me completely wrong from the start of the season. After the first 3 losses, the Chelsea one especially, and the Man City one after going a man down, I thought Arsenal would really struggle to compete with any of the teams in the top 6, let alone the top 4 of the season. But you can say that they haven't played the big teams in that massive winning run they had, but to keep so many clean sheets, keep winning consistently, even though they don't have Europe, it's a massive credit to them, massive credit to Arteta. He seems like he's found a good formula defensively in the midfield and going forward. There's a nice blend of everything. There's a nice blend of defensive solidity, nice blend of fluidity in the attack, and a very nice blend of Lokonga and Partey in midfield. I do like Arsenal at the minute, and that Tottenham game that I watched, even though it was against Nuno Spurs, which is worse than the worst relegated team in the history of the Premier League, they were still played really well in that game, and I do respect them a lot. My only issue with Arsenal is the squad depth, in my opinion. If they do lose Gabriel or Ben White, I think Pablo Mari and Rob Holding are not good benefactors for them.
Careful when you say that. Someone's going to pop up in the comments in about 5 seconds. But
I'm ready for it. I'm waiting for it. And if you lose Tomiyasu as well at right back, he's been the massive revelation coming from Bologna, I believe. So yeah, the only problem is the squad depth. And when we talk about squad depth, this period is going to be mentally draining. It's going to be physically draining. Games every 3 days. Arsenal have played well without Europe in the midweek, but now there's going to be Premier League games every 3 days at a high level in these tough conditions with so many more training sessions. It could be the start to maybe a more difficult spell of less consistent results for Arsenal. So we're going to have to see. The Liverpool game, I felt, was a bit of a lack of experience in the Arsenal team. Tavares playing across his goal. That's simply Ramsdale getting rounded after his great form by Diogo Jota. So it's going to be difficult what's going to happen. But Arsenal have impressed me. If they can get the win at Old Trafford against, as my friend's saying here, Rangnick's kind of headphone kind of Man United FC, it could be a massive win for Arsenal as well. So yeah, I mean, it's going to start from now. That's all I'm saying. It's been a good run, but it's all going to start from now. All the hard games and the tough winter schedule is going to start from now. If they can continue getting wins like Frank Lampard couldn't last season, then Arsenal could be massive challengers for the top 4.
Wow. Can I just say, sorry, fantastic, man. I like you, bruv. You really deliver.
Thank you.
Taron is the best when it comes to Almighty Blues FC. I think we rely on Taron, and I hope Taron relies on me, but that's all. We are a team. But yeah, that's fantastic analysis, Taron. I must say, I have to agree 100% with you there. As in one quick thing, right? As in, I have a question here. I think from Insane Football Talks, again, great channel here, growing channel for sure. Brother, do you think that Rangnick can choke up because of pressure there is while managing Man United? Again, we all know managing Man United has to be the pressure is the biggest key. If someone who can kind of get over that. But Rangnick, I think he's been there, done that, right? As in, I know he's not done the Premiership, but Omondi, for sure, he should be possibly the best candidate ever. Who was your best candidate?
Yeah, perfect. I don't think he's going to choke up. This is a man who's convicted in what he does. He's a man who invented his own style. He's got a trademark style. belongs to him, and he can see he's like, as I keep saying, he's got his own dojo. He's like the Buddhist monk in the mountains. Anyone who wants to go and learn that style, they have to travel up there, learn it, and come back, and they will be disciples of the Rangnick style. You know, this is what I'm saying. We're seeing it. They're all shining. They've all got halos over their heads. Wherever club they go to, Klopp, your guy Chelsea, Thomas. You know, you guys are loving them right now. They're little deities for you guys. You know, so this guy, we're getting the actual most high. You know, the most high is coming to Manchester United, the one who delivered all of these sort of beautiful tactics and things. And what isn't football a wonderful game? I mean, in basketball, you've got 5 guys on the pitch and there's so many different strategies and different tactics you can employ. But with football, it just goes round, like, it evolves all the time. But this style must have been used maybe 50 years ago. Football evolves. And this is the beautiful thing about the game. You can, like, someone will come along soon and counter this style. Do you understand what I'm saying? Or someone came along and countered the tiki-taka style. You know, this is the beautiful thing about football. This is why we love the game so much. It's the best game in the world. But the thing is, what I love about Rangnick, he will not be phased about the club. He's the sort of man who turned down Chelsea, because he didn't get what he wanted. You know, I don't care. I don't care about your reputation. I'm going to go off to Lokomotiv Moscow.
But I'm happy. Come on, you got Tuchel. You can't be right? You can't be too greedy.
Yeah.
But yeah.
So I don't know what comes of things like that, but yeah, that's the way I see it. But we get more information about Rangnick really soon. He'll be on our TV screens. We'll be able to get a better feel about the type of man he is.
Well, let's just hope the work permit issues kind of continue as an opposition. But again, that's just me talking as an opposition fan. But yes, I'll go to Gamza, because Gamza, definitely you would want to have a say as well on this topic. Right?
Yeah, as I say, I'm not a Man United fan, as you all know. But
you're a football fan.
I'm a football fan. And watching United over the past few years, listening to fans talk, obviously we probably all got a lot of Man United fans, because we could be honest, they are a big global brand and got a big fan base. I think he'd be okay for the sheer reason you've had quick fixes and it's never really worked. So Mourinho to me is a quick fix. He'd come in, he'd do a job, he'd win a trophy or two, but it's not long-term sustainability. I think Oli came in, settled things down, but you never had an identity under Oli. You would win games because you had great players, but identity-wise, it wasn't great to watch. Do you know what I mean? So I think your fan base would be probably patient with Rangnick if he delivers a good brand of football. I'm watching Spurs fans now crying for Pochettino back, because when they had a good style of football but wasn't winning, and they thought a Mourinho could take them to the next level, and they realised it's not as easy as just bringing that kind of manager in. So I think under Rangnick, I think even if they just say you got sixth, but actually saw identity in your team, you saw players performing to a higher level, not just Bruno Fernandes but bailing you out like he did last year, or Ronaldo scoring goals this year. You see development of Rashford. I think he's stagnated a bit. You see development of Greenwood. You see football coming through the middle. All you hear is Man United fans moaning about the midfield partnership, not getting Donny van der Beek in the team, Pogba not being the same Pogba as France. If you can knit those things together, even if you lose games but you're playing attractive football, I think that would be the basis for Man United to say, actually, we can build upon this now. If we can get a Declan Rice in there to replace Fred or McTominay, that solidifies it a bit. Maybe a better centre-back than Harry Maguire. But you can start to see it blossoming. And coming from Arsenal, who have been there, we was papering over cracks for a lot of years. David Luiz, Willian, Mustafis, Kolasinacs. I could go on for ages. The loan signings we bring in for 6 months who aren't good enough. And this is the first time we said, right, rip that up. We're going with a brand new team, young back line. Like our back five, no one's over the age of 24. And we're starting to, so again, we might not see the best of this Arsenal, but I think in 2 years, we'll start seeing what Arteta and Edu have put in place for us. And I think Rangnick sounds like that kind of guy United have brought in, where it's a long-term project rather than here and now. We need to get top 4 this season. Actually, it might not happen this year, but next year, you'll be in a better position. So I think it's a good appointment. I think it's something you've been crying out for. I don't think Woodward had a clue what he was really doing. Again, I use the analogy, Arsenal at the moment are playing Football Manager, we're scouting, we're bringing in the right players that match with what we've got, we believe in the manager's philosophy. And Man United have been playing FIFA, they just see 88 rated and they just throw money at him, bring it. It doesn't matter if he's got a red line or a green line, they're bringing in the biggest names. So I think this is the first time I'm seeing a bit of an actual plan, and I reckon it will pay off for them long term. I think, yeah, they need to start again.
Well, very well put. Great analysis there. But yeah, then big up to a few people in the chat. I know Monty, he needs to go in a couple of minutes, but big up to again Insane Football Talk, Strip Bear. Big up to you for joining. And Strip Bear definitely is one of the best, and she knows her stuff for sure. Like again, we only wanted him for 4 months, and that's why he turned us down. Yeah, then again, that's the call, but again, there can be multiple reasons, and again, we can speculate about it. Saurabh, Michael Talks Football, great football channel as well, and of course, Chelsea Perspective, and Shrey Prasanna as well, right? But Amondi, I'll give you a quick word before you go, right? Definitely. I know in terms of injuries, if I'm not wrong, Pogba is having a long-term injury. Shaw might be still out, but that might be a blessing in disguise. I think Alex Telles is doing pretty good, if I'm not wrong, right? Any other major injuries that you have?
Not that I'm aware of, no. Obviously, we had the COVID thing with Greenwood. But listen, we're a big squad, and this is what's going to take us. It's a marathon, not a sprint. So teams like Arsenal, who are performing right now, have to recognise that it's 38 games over the season, and this time last year, they were boasting up, talking about how good they were. And then suddenly they had a drop, and that's to do with squad depth, I imagine. They got a young side, so I don't think they're going to really last out. Real top, like you guys are complaining about injuries and squad. Oh my God, we haven't got any midfielders. What are we going to do? But the guys you're talking about replacing these guys, they're good enough. So you've got the squad. This is why you're European champions. This is why you will be challenging for the title, or they'll be there or thereabouts. So that's really important. This is what sort of separates Man United, Man City. I'm going to say this: Man United, Man City, and Chelsea from the rest. And I'm including Liverpool in that because Liverpool don't have the squad to survive.
Wow.
I just want to say as well, finally, before I go, I just want to say, Ankit, I love you, man. I love what you're doing. I really enjoy your shows. I really like your guest as well. Really impressed me, man. Top. Keep in touch, bruv. You got it. Keep in touch. Hope Chelsea do well this season, just because of you guys. It's what you're delivering out here is top drawer. And I advise everyone who's tuning in, share, subscribe, and just keep following Ankit with his channel, because this is going places proper. And I believe me when I say that, I'm never wrong with these things.
Thank you. Means a lot.
But yeah, you got to come. If you ever come over to London, you got a place here to stay. Whenever, all for free, everything else. I'm sure everyone's invited you around, but
I did. Taron is there, and a lot of people. Big up, and kudos to the Man United agenda. Again, the link is below. I know Amondi has to go on another show, but great chat, Amondi. Last word. What's your prediction?
I say 1-0 Man United against Arsenal. But thank you guys. God bless. Nice to meet you. All right.
Nice to meet you. Take care. See you later.
Okay, so as Amondi is going quickly, again, Taron, coming back to the striker situation, right? Again, we are struggling for goals. But in terms of Arsenal, I think Aubameyang missing those chances that he is probably the lucky charm for them in a way, because I think when he's missing chances, Arsenal are winning, simply put. But I think stats are something which is speaking totally different. I think Aubameyang has scored the last 2 times against Manchester United, and I think if he scores the 3rd time against Manchester United, it'll be the first time in history ever that an Arsenal player has scored in 3 consecutive games against Manchester United. And that's something, as an off a stat in itself. But Taron, what's your call on this game? What's your prediction, and what do you think the key battle will be?
Yeah, I mean, first on the Aubameyang factor, that penalty last year from that. Don't remember who made the foul, but for them to win 1-0 away, it was a great result. But that was kind of the downfall. After that result was that crazy winless run where everything started to unravel for Arteta, and then the Chelsea game was the way back into it for Arteta. But yeah, this game, I'm not quite sure what to predict, because United could potentially have an absolute stormer, like Amondi said, with Rangnick maybe having an impact through his Zoom calls, stuff like that, maybe helping Carrick before he actually sets his philosophy on the football. But Arsenal could also have a great game, because they do have their full strength 11, I believe, right now, apart from Kieran Tierney. Tavares played. Saka's injured. That could be a big loss, actually. I'm sure Pepe could potentially step up and do a good job for them. But yeah, if Arsenal are on their game, I don't think Man United can really compete with that. If Man United drop into their low block again, like they did against Chelsea at Stamford Bridge, Arsenal, Smith Rowe is great in tight spaces. If Odegaard's going to start in that floating role again, he's great in tight spaces. Pepe, if he's up against the defence, I feel like his left foot can unlock most defences in the Premier League. So I feel like it's going to be a lot tighter than people expect. People are predicting a big scoring game due to the amount of goals Arsenal conceded against Liverpool, and Man United, they still didn't look great against Chelsea defensively, to be honest. But I'm predicting a 1-1 draw, to be fair. I'm not predicting something too crazy. There could be a goal from probably Sancho again, who's been in electrifying form in the last few games. Really mudded Jorginho with that counter-attacking goal. And for Arsenal, I reckon Smith Rowe will get a goal again. He's been good in the big games so far. Maybe the Liverpool game, he did drift out of it a little bit. But the Spurs game, I think he was a key benefactor to that win. So a 1-1 draw, nothing too significant. And mostly because I want a draw, because I need both teams to drop points for my club to do well.
Well, like honestly, after that Man United draw, I want Man United to lose. Sorry, Man United fans in the house, but yeah, it's just me speaking as a fan. Like at the end of the day, it comes out naturally, right? I have to go with that. But yeah, then my prediction, quickly putting out there, I can actually see Arsenal kind of doing well, but I go with Taron as well. I could see a score draw, but I would rather go for a high-scoring draw. A 3-3 won't be bad, right? And like I know, like Arsenal, Ramsdale has been doing wonders, but I think it's probably time. Like there has to be a limit to what Ramsdale is doing. But what do you think is a key battle? Like again, we'll come back to your tactical analysis quickly. What do you think is that one key battle which you think which will determine the game?
Do you know? I think there's going to be some big battles all over the park. I think it's going to be if Ronaldo starts, him against Gabriel and Ben White. Just his experience and again inexperience at the back. Like they're both quite very young centre backs. I think that's going to be an interesting battle. Man United have got good players. When you think, you've got Rashford one side, Sancho the other, it's like, how could you kind of say it's an easy performance for your wing backs? But I think it's bravery for United. Arsenal have struggled against teams who are brave. I look back at the Palace game, a team that want to play football. Brighton absolutely battered us. And I think they actually beat us up more than Liverpool did. We couldn't get hold of the ball. As much as the scoreline looks completely different, if you actually watch the game, we couldn't get near them. And again, they're a team who are brave and want to dictate possession. Chelsea dictated possession and Man City dictated possession. So if the team's brave and hold the ball, we then kind of go into our shell, withdraw and go into that low block, and we struggle a little bit with it. So I'm hoping Man United will try and play, a bit fast, expansive, creative football, and I think we'll pick them off. The same way Tottenham just came out and we just absolutely tore them apart in the first half. So, and the same with Leicester. So I'm hoping United kind of come at us a little bit and leave some spaces for us to kind of try and get in behind and kill them. Pepe, I think I'm not too sure if he'll start actually. I'm not sure if something's happened with him and Arteta. It could just be fans reading into things like we do. But I think everyone was presuming he'd be the one to come on instead of Saka. Because Martinelli typically plays on the left for us and Pepe typically plays on the right, and it was Martinelli who came on. So again, it could just be we're winning 1-0, Martinelli's got more pace to get in behind, or it could be Pepe's not favoured at the moment. I think we kind of go in as favourites, even though it's Old Trafford, which is a surprising thing for me. And I don't know how you lot felt going into the Man United game, but I feel confident.
That's what always happens, right? And then whenever we go as favourites, we kind of do something totally unexpected. I don't know about Arsenal, but
that's my worry. Is it overconfidence? Like I'm looking at thinking they shouldn't beat us, but I think the hard thing for Arteta is we don't know how they're going to set up. I think we've seen the last week since the Watford game, maybe 3 different formations in 3 matches for them. So you never know how they're going to set up. But yeah, we should win. I'm not scared of Man United, but it's Arsenal of an Arsenal of old could come out in that game, and that might be the difference.
So what are you calling a draw?
I'm gonna go Arsenal win. I've got to stay loyal to my boys. I don't think it'd be as high scoring as previous years of Arsenal Man United games. I think both in attack aren't as fluid as we've seen, even though the names in attack are quite good. So I'll go for I'm gonna go 2-0. I'm gonna go 2-0. I'm gonna go brave. The back line's been good this season, so.
Interesting. So when Rangnick finally comes to Man United, they might be a 9th man. I don't know. That's way too low.